quietly updates resume to emphasize lethality. Hi, this is Lindy Kaiser with ClearanceJobs.com. Another memo came out last week indicating changes in DOD civilian workforce strategy. It echoes to points that the Secretary of Defense has already made about what the future of the Department of Defense might look like. Like most government agencies right now, DOD is subject to an overhaul of its civilian workforce, looking at specifically how to align to mission readiness. I will say the memo is worth looking at or reading about over at ClearanceJobs if you are interested in working for the Department of Defense or federal government. Our mantra is still the same. We're having a great shift and a great reshuffling of the federal workforce, but opportunities are absolutely still available. Like always, fortune will favor the patient in the process, but what we see is like consolidation of roles. They want to reduce redundancy in roles, and they want to focus on mission impact. So if I was looking for a job within the Department of Defense, hoping to pursue an opportunity when they open up their hiring freeze or find a new pathway, yes, I would be looking at mission focus and mission readiness. So how to get a job in DOD today. Make sure you are aligning with current objectives when it comes to the Department of Defense. Again, lethality, warfare, support. How can you support the work of the Department of Defense today? I think I heard a lot of folks saying, hey, research, policy, all of this is going to be cut. The memo specifically said, hey, research that has not delivered a result in 5 years will be cut. So you need to have an action plan. So again, if I was DOD proofing my resume today, focus on mission impact, focus on warfare readiness, focus on ways that you can support the government getting the job done today, show deliverability, actionable results, things that you have accomplished in a job. I think is going to be a great way to pursue your pathway into the federal government. And again, what I always see is there's different lines of consolidation. That's going to mean different areas of opportunity going forward. So would I refresh my resume applying into DOD and make sure I'm aligning with the current objectives? Yes. Doing a little research when you're applying for any job, including a federal job, is certainly worthwhile. And again, and making sure it aligns with key priorities and objectives is going to be important, I think. For me, I'm optimistic that that's a shift that we haven't always seen. I think the government hiring process can be painful. Again, it's different on the private sector side. Contractors are doing this in a much more agile way, thanks to tools like ClearanceJobs. The federal hiring process, you have not always seen kind of actionable deliverability and emphasis on cost savings has not always been a great way to get yourself to stood apart. So I think now we're going to see a shift in that. I hope that we see a dramatic overhaul of the USA Jobs platform and the entire DOD onboarding process. And again, at a bare minimum, yes, I would be producing an action-oriented resume if I was looking to land a position in DOD today. Does not mean research is off the table, does not mean policy is not important, but how does policy affect the ability of service members to do their jobs? That is the heart of the DOD mission, and it is certainly important to everything we do today and going forward. So now it's not a time to give up. There are still opportunities out there. I think working for the Department of Defense as a former Department of Army civilian, I loved working at the Pentagon. There was no better job. It was such a cool mission, and we knew every day who we were supporting. We were telling the soldiers' story. We were helping to support soldiers who were putting their lives on the line. So for me as a DOD, Department of Army civilian, certainly have a passion for that. I know things are in flux. I know it's hard. Our heart goes out to the federal workforce and all those affected and impacted. But again, if I was searching for my next opportunity, building my DOD resume in light of the latest guidance on changes to the DOD civilian workforce, I would be making it action-oriented, results-driven, and trying to find, again, those clear deliverables and how they can affect or impact the warfighter, how the work you might be have done previously in the private sector and another vocation, how you were delivering results that led to cost reductions, helping the bottom line. There are still opportunities out there. There still will be opportunities out there. Continue to check out more over at ClearanceJobs.com. And thank you so much for being a part of our community.